You're listening to Must-In-Laws Be Outlaws, the podcast that proves even the rockiest in-law relationships can turn into the greatest friendships.
Want the inside scoop on how we did it?
Stay tuned.
Hosted by daughter-in-law Kathy Reva Bloomgarden
and mother-in-law Lucette Bloomgarden.
And we did not always get along, so this is living proof your relationship has hope.
We found some very interesting things are happening to us as we're doing this. Little by little, stories are coming out about the beginning of our relationships that we didn't even know existed. We didn't even know there were problems. And how wonderful it is that we can now look back and say, oh my God, I didn't want to do that. I would never have tried to hurt you. Also, it's wonderful because we now know how to correct these incidences, and that's why we're here. We want to share this with you, share our experiences. I think we have over 100 years of experience?
136 years of wisdom between the two of us.
Right. Not that either one of us is 136 years old. I don't want you to get that idea.
But we look good for our age.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Anyway, one of the things we love to do is to make you happy and make you start out your episode with us on a very positive, upbeat note. So we start with a joke.
Okay, so here we go. When I die, I want to be buried next to Krispy Kreme. At least my daughter-in-law will visit me there.
Yeah, right, exactly.
So anyway, a little sweetness to start off the conversation.
The interesting thing is, and I'm sure you guys all know that, there are a ton of in-law jokes, mostly mother-in-law jokes. And as the mother of 3 sons, I have several daughters-in-law, and I know what it's like. But the truth of the matter is, obviously, there's a great deal of pain between mothers-in-law and daughters-in-law.
What's that about? We're going to dig in. Okay, what's our topic today? Oh, wait, what's on your mind? What's on your mind before we get to our topic? Our format is loose and flowing, but we're going to talk about what's on our mind first.
Well, my mind has actually been wandering. I do a kind of a lecture series called Cinema Connection, and I do it in various clubs around Florida. And the next one coming up is on the movie Sinners.
Ooh, Oscar-winning movie. I haven't seen it yet.
I did not think I would like it. I was quite shocked that I really, really liked it. So I'm thinking about the kind of questions I want to ask. You know, what I like to do is ask a lot of provocative questions and thought-provoking.
That tracks.
Yeah. So anyway, that you asked what's on my mind, and I enjoy doing that. The last one we did was The Godfather, but it was not just analyzing The Godfather. It was the secrets behind the scenes of The Godfather. So
didn't you have someone who was a chauffeur to the mob or something in your audience?
Yes, that's exactly right.
Characters.
It turned out we had a wonderful turnout, and the people were terrific. But some of the people actually had relationships with people who were members of the mob. And it was so interesting because they'd raise their hand, and I thought it would be, oh, yeah, I liked the movie, I didn't like the movie, whatever. One said, I buried a number of the mob. I said, oh.
In what way?
In what way?
I'm hoping he's a funeral director.
Okay, but we are off our topic. We're here basically, and as many of you who have seen our podcast realize, we're trying to gather information and help you guys with your relationships, because it's not just in-law relationships.
True.
It's relationships between friends, between siblings, between husbands and wives, and you can go on. And so that is our total focus with this podcast. And the nice part, and you can attest to this, Kathy, is we're getting wonderful feedback from people who are saying, I have a problem, how do I solve it? And we try to solve. Now, neither one of us will claim to be
Hashtag not a doctor. Hashtag not a doctor.
Right.
Wait, but I want to read a comment just to give an example to inspire people.
Just let me finish.
Okay.
I just wanted to say what I am, though, is a life coach. And so the research and the experience that I've had as a life coach helps a great deal with this.
And what a life you've had.
Yeah,
From
well,
being a pilot to
right.
writing a book. Like, I mean, there's so many things. But let me just tell you about some of the people who've written in. They have been so generous with their comments, and we want to hear more from you. So definitely email us at mustinlawsbeoutlaws@gmail.com. But this is a comment from Burley. She said, this podcast is for any relationship where we feel uneasy, misunderstood, or not fully safe to be ourselves with someone who matters. And that just stopped me in
Yeah,
my tracks.
yeah.
Like, she gets us. We want you to feel safe here. We want this to be a place where everyone can feel like they're seen and be understood. So we want to hear from you. Please write your comments either on our social media and Instagram or on anywhere you listen to podcasts, YouTube, or email us.
This is your go-to place because you may have issues, but not issues that you need to see an ongoing therapist. Something you just need to resolve in one way or another.
Or get off your chest.
And we're here to help you, though.
Yeah.
We're here to help you.
So that leads us to our topic today.
What's our topic?
So our topic is, what's the difference between being a good mother-in-law and a good daughter-in-law?
Well, as juxtaposed to being a good mother and a good daughter, they're different. And I think that's where we have to go.
And wait, what does the word good mean? Like, can we qualify that?
That's a good question.
Good's being tossed around a lot here.
No, but she's right. She's absolutely right. Because
what does it look like? What does a successful relationship look like?
What does a success? Okay.
I'm going to qualify that as good. Good in my book is like you feel like you're
when you think about
can
it,
be yourself.
Is being a good mother enough qualifications to being a good mother-in-law?
Well, I don't have, I'm not a mother-in-law, so I'm not sure. However, I know you're a great mom.
Thank you.
I don't know that you were a great mother-in-law in the beginning. So I don't know.
Well,
but that's reflective of me, right? Like maybe that says more about me than you.
It's not, I'm not assigning responsibility. That's not what this is about. What this is about is, I think you're right. I think we all have preconceptions of what is a good in-law. We all, and you know, we brought it up in past issues. Who is the other woman in your husband's life? Well, I'm the mother of sons. All of a sudden, am I discarded? Am I thrown into the garbage dump? I'm still a mother. Now, how do I be a mother-in-law? I really thought, and I'm telling you the honest truth, I thought I knew how. I really thought I knew how. I thought I could say the same things to my daughters-in-law that I could say to my sons because I'm so open and honest. But you don't know your daughters-in-law as well as you know your children, your own children, and you don't know what weaknesses are there that might hurt them, and you might be saying something innocuous, or you think it's innocuous, and it's painful for them to hear. And
and the reverse is true, right?
Right.
The reverse is
Very
also true.
true.
Daughters-in-law can also say things that that are provocative, and I think that's a gift. I don't know that every relationship needs to be smooth sailing. I think that the opportunity comes when you can choose to grow together. So the question or the topic is like, what's the difference between being a good mother-in-law versus being a good mother, or being a good daughter-in-law and being a good daughter? I think it's like you have to be willing to grow together, and you want to have that relationship, and you have to want it.
I'm all about tools. We can say things.
Hammers, nails. I'm just kidding.
No, but seriously, you can't say to somebody, you should, if you can't give them tools. Okay, so let's talk from the perspective of being a good daughter versus being a good daughter-in-law.
Okay.
From my perspective as being both, I've been both. I've been a good daughter, and you could ask my mother-in-law. She would say I was a great daughter-in-law. But you know what? There were issues, and there were issues I never shared with her, and maybe I should have. Maybe it would have changed everything.
I think we're realizing in doing this podcast that there are some issues I wish you would have the chance to really bring up to her, because she might have a different perspective that she could share, and it's past the time to talk about it. So let's be the cautionary tale here and use the time you have left on this earth to really make it count and communicate with those that are in your life.
I love what you just said, because I think that everything we do in life should have intention. And if you don't, and you slip, and everybody can slip, you don't know how detrimental it can turn out to be. So let's talk about from the perspective of being a mother-in-law. Since we talked about you and the perspective of being a daughter-in-law, I can, and I hate to admit this is not something I like saying. I always felt at times, not all the time, that no matter what, my daughters-in-law would do more and go out of their way more for their mothers than they would for me. No matter what I did, no matter how good or bad I was, and it hurt me. It really, I'm shocked that it really hurt me. I look back at it now, and I have a different perspective. But when I was 20 or 30 or 40 or whatever it was, I got married very young, as you could tell, but it hurt me. And I never said a word.
So you're saying that your mother-in-law did more for her daughter than she did for you?
Without a doubt. Can I share something with you?
Yeah, please.
I thought when I got into this family that my husband's family was fabulous, just fabulous. And they everything they did I thought was beautiful and lovely, and I just wanted to be a part of it. And ostensibly they made me a part of it. One day, my in-laws came back from a trip from Mexico. And
You did tell this story.
Did I share that story?
Mm-hmm.
I thought I only shared it to you. So I can't be careful. I have to be careful. Anyway, the bottom line was my mother-in-law made a big deal out of giving us all the same thing. And then a couple of years later, my sister-in-law was wearing this stunning pin, which of course I did not get. And that was the first time I was aware that she wasn't treating us the same. And obviously, it's still a little painful for me because I still hear it and I still talk about it. However,
I would say, like, if I could add to that, when I first came to Mark's family, I also wanted to just be fit in.
That's
and
right.
Loved everything that you did. You had beautifully set tables, and the family was so close, and there's a lot of laughter and a lot of arguments, but a lot of emotion that was all positive. And it's not that you ever treated me poorly. You just kept us at arm's distance. It just felt like there was distance that was, we weren't enveloped into the fold initially. And that was really
That's
interesting because I really wanted that, right? So like it's my expectation of wanting that. And we did talk about this specific thing prior. And I guess my point is that people in these new relationships have their own expectations of how they're going to go.
I think that's
we should break open that
word, expectations.
Communication.
Because early on, you did make that clear to me, and I said to you when you were engaged, you weren't even married, and I remember saying to you, I cannot love you the way I love my son. I've spent 20 some odd years pouring my life blood into this person. I only know you a year. I don't even know much about you. And it didn't help that I said that. So verbiage may not necessarily work. So let's talk about actions versus words.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the difference between being a good mother versus a good mother-in-law is the difference for me, and I'm not a mother-in-law yet, but I can't wait to be one, is that as a mother, you're committed to this beautiful life that's been gifted to you, for better or worse, and that is something that is our responsibility. And then when they find a partner, that's less your responsibility. Like, you're like, all right, well, hopefully they're a good partner and they treat your child with care and respect, but it's not your responsibility. So what do you have to say about that? Like, I wasn't your responsibility to raise,
No, and
even though I was young.
no, but and you did suffer from that, as a matter of fact. Um, I think that communication is the key to all relationships.
Yeah.
The
I wish we could have been more open
earlier.
earlier. I wish we would have had the strength of our vulnerability to be more honest
Say
and
that
open.
again. That's
I
important.
wish that we would have had the strength of our vulnerability earlier in our relationship, where
we guard our vulnerability
Yeah.
so desperately. Not just you and I.
Right.
All people do that. We all guard our vulnerability. When in fact, if you open yourself up to the people that you feel closest to, you open up many doors and you don't even know it. And good doors. These are positive things.
But how does somebody trust that?
There's another
So, you know, I would have said the communication that when I met you at age 24, 25, my communication wasn't great, just because I was that age and I wasn't a great communicator. So how do you give someone advice to be a better communicator at any age, to be vulnerable?
First of all, and I'm going to speak specifically, but perhaps you can extrapolate from this the reality that's applicable to most people. And Kathy will definitely agree with this. You are not the same person that you were when I first met you.
No, thank God. I'm so different.
You've grown, you've changed.
Correct.
You've evolved.
Yes.
Which is amazing.
A little blonder, a little taller. No, I'm just kidding. No, I pride myself on my evolution. I'm always looking to grow. Yeah.
Not everybody is. Okay. So we were able to I was able to, and I actually am pleased with myself that I was receptive to this.
Yeah, you've grown too. You're not the same person that when I met you.
You're absolutely right.
25 years later.
Most people are not the same as they were 25 years earlier. And if they are, you have to have a little sympathy for them, because the whole idea of being on this planet is to evolve. Okay.
I agree
What
with that,
do
by the
you
way.
say to somebody, and this is a key thing, if you say to them, oh, this is the issue you're having when you first get married and makes you angry and it hurts you, what advice would you give them now?
I think the thing that I learned the best was to not take things personally. Everything shifted when I chose a different perspective, and it wasn't all about my wounding or me being hurt or my judgment.
How did you get to that level?
I did a lot of work on myself. I wanted to understand why patterns kept repeating and why I'm still the same person, but the pattern is the same as well. I'm like, there's got to be something I'm participating in if this pattern is existing in other places. Like, where am I participating in this?
That's a very good point. That's a very good point. And yeah, hopefully everybody listening to you can pull from that a little bit that's applicable to them. I mean, I know that one of the things how I have changed, and I'm blessed that I am able to, is the things that I thought were so important then turned out to not be so important.
Emotions do fade. They do.
Emotions do fade, and the emphasis on issues changes, and we need to be able to take the deep breath take that deep breath and think about it beforehand. Because if you think that in 10 years or 1 year maybe, it's no longer going to be an issue.
And time does heal all wounds. That's a cliche, but it's true. Maybe not all wounds, but it heals a lot of wounds. And now we've actually come to the last word. We are ready for the audience question. So today's question, are you ready for today's question that we get to respond to?
Mm-hmm.
It's from Cindy L. Thank you very much. What do you do when your mother-in-law will not take no for an answer? She goes around and asks my husband, and then she goes straight to my kids. She does not take no for an answer. What do you do? Like, I'm the daughter-in-law. I don't even know. Like, what's that about? Explain to me what someone was thinking if they don't take no for an answer. Put yourself in the mother-in-law's shoes. What are you thinking?
Let me preface this by saying, fortunately, I've never had that experience.
Wait, you didn't serve the roles. You have said no.
No. But the point is, I have never had anybody, not my mother-in-law, not nobody, who went around and tried to ask my kids and get everybody ganged up against me.
Right.
That would have driven me nuts. Okay, so let's deal with that issue, because that's a harsh issue. You know, she goes. The mother-in-law goes to the grandchildren, goes to her son, and she says, blah, 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 my daughter-in-law did this, and do you agree with me or do you agree with her? Right away, she's being divisive. Is that what you want to do as a mother-in-law? Do you want to divide your family? Is that what your goal is?
It feels to me, this is a similar pattern I'm hearing, is like someone has such an entrenched way of thinking and they want themselves to be right at the cost of the other person's happiness, at the cost of the family's happiness, at the cost of the trust of the family.
That is so true.
And that seems to be a common theme. I'm hearing this is like a mother-in-law. I don't want to say, I'm not going to make a general statement, but it does seem like a lot of the comments we're receiving have something to do with the mother-in-law being so displaced that she has to be like dug in her opinion. Does that feel right?
You know, I've seen it happen.
And we're going to have to continue this in our next episode. You guys are going to have to keep tuning in to find out more on this topic, because we are already at the conclusion for today's conversation.
I know,
this is like the fastest conversation.
So fast.
I don't even know what happened. But listen, you can help us out. We would love to hear from you. Please email us. Find us at mustinlawsbeoutlaws@gmail.com. We're on Instagram. We are at Spotify and Apple Podcasts and anywhere you listen to great podcasts, as well as YouTube. You can watch our channel. Please like, subscribe, and click, and then share with everybody, because we really hope that this resonates, and we want to hear the good and the bad. And guess what? Wait. We're not all about contentious relationships. Next episode, or soon, we're gonna have an episode where we interview guests, and she loves her mother-in-law. They have the best relationship and always have. So I can't wait to bring that story to light too, because I know a lot of people love their mother-in-law and they always get along. So we can't wait to hear that and share that story too.
And by the way, if you send any emails to us, it doesn't even have to be about mother-in-law, daughter-in-law, or even in-law relationships. You can ask us anything, and if we can answer it, we certainly will.
Yeah, thanks for listening, everybody.
Okay. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.